How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the anime channel. Going to be talking today about an anime that I just recently finished up watching, and we might also touch on an anime that I'm just about to wrap up and continue on in a different series with the manga version of it. So without any further ado, let's just go into it. Excuse me. So the first one today we're going to be discussing in this video is The Devil is a Part-Timer. If you've never seen Devil is a Part-Timer, it is it's an isekai, but not exactly in the way that you might be thinking. See, the Devil Lord and this hero, they're in battle, heat of the battle. Devil's about to lose, and then he's like, alright, peace, I'm going to another world. And him and this other dude that he works with, that's like under him, they travel through this portal, and it turns out that this portal comes to Earth. Right, like normal, everyday Japan. And normally, you would think with isekai, it's usually the other way around. Usually, normal everyday humans are going to these fantasy worlds to do battle and fight against fantasy monsters. But in this, it's about these fantasy creatures, these sort of biblical, I guess, characters coming to this world and trying to be humans and trying to live a normal human life without any sort of, I guess, backlash from the humans. And, you know, there's your normal antics along the way. I don't know what a bantic is. But, you know, there's your normal antics. There's people who want to try to stop the devil. And the devil just wants to live a normal human life here in the human world. Working a shift at the local fast food joint, and people are kind of curious as to why he's here. He originally intends on taking over the earth, until he realizes that he likes working a part-time job at the Devil is a Part-Timer universe's edition of McDonald's. Which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with McDonald's. You know, food could, you know, is a little hit or miss, but it's not a bad place at all. You know, so he kind of comes here expecting to take over this world, and then he ends up liking it so much that he decides to stay. And he's sort of kept track of by his arch enemy, who tries to kill him. And then, you know, again, if you've seen it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, just because it's so good. Well, I think it's good. It's not the best, but it's good. And then Cells at Work kind of just quickly transitioned into that. I don't know, if you've never seen Cells at Work, let's read the description of Cells at Work. A blood-pumping job, strep throat, hay fever, influenza. The world is a dangerous place for a red blood cell. If you haven't guessed already, the world that they're talking about is the human body. For a red blood cell just trying to get her deliveries finished, because the red blood cell delivers nutrients to the whole body. You would know that if you see Cells at Work. Just trying to get her deliveries finished. Fortunately, she's not alone. She's got a whole human body's worth of cells ready to help out. The mysterious white blood cell, the buff and brash killer T cell, the nerdy neuron, and even cute little platelets. Everyone's got to come together if they want to keep you healthy. So it's a educational anime / manga series, but it's also very entertaining to watch because the way they explain it and the way that they show it is very much typical. It's very action packed. If for lack of a better term, it is very action packed. I believe this is rated T. I think there's a mature rating on it, or if not mature, it's an older teen rating because there is blood and gore, kind of, but there's no swearing, there's no nudity, there's no I don't know. Inside the human body isn't really nudity, I don't think, and it's not really like it's not like what you would imagine a body to look like. It's not. It's sort of like everything is sort of put into this sort of I don't know. It's like the human body is like turned into like this city where everybody is doing a job and everybody's trying to do that job, kind of like the world that we live in right now, where we try to go to work and we commute to work and we do our jobs, we do our work, we come home from work. That's kind of how it is. And you got the white blood cell, which is like the white blood cells, like the police, right? They make sure everyone's safe. Killer T cell, that would probably be like the military. They only get called in when shit gets real serious. Platelets, they're kind of, in the show they're depicted as kids, like little cute little kids. And they're sort of the construction workers of the human body. So everything that they sort of, everything in the human body is sort of like depicted as if it were humanoid, I guess, anthropomorphized, if that's even the right way to pronounce it. So it's very interesting to watch how they sort of explain everything and how they sort of depict things happening, like viruses and pneumococcal pneumonia and strep throat and food poisoning and all that other bad stuff that can happen to the human body, sort of brought to life in this anime. It's sort of, it's a science fiction, yes, but it's like Dr. Stone, but inside the human body, if that makes any sense, right? Because it's very medically accurate to what everything does, and Dr. Stone is scientifically accurate. I mean, as scientifically accurate as an isekai set 2,000 years in the future can be. You know, so I think Cells at Work probably a little bit more realistic, or at least not, I don't want to say it's more accurate than Dr. Stone, because Dr. Stone does have its accuracies. So I would say it's medically accurate. People say it's medically accurate. I think it was created for educating people, like medical students, I guess, to watch, which is really something cool, because you know, I've now have a vested interest in what goes on inside the human body and how everything works and what everything does. Because, you know, I think a lot of people don't know enough about what goes on inside them and how everything works and what everything does and everything that can happen to you and all of the sicknesses and germs and all the different ways that those germs can get in and affect your body, and what every cell in the body does to kind of help keep you alive. Essentially, it's not just you wake up, you eat, do work, go to bed, repeat the next day. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on within your body. Like, it goes from explores everything from, like I said, food poisoning to cancer cells and how they produce everything down to allergies and pollen and how that gets in and affects your body, and how helper B cells come in and inject their antibodies in to help defeat whatever's wrong with you, depending on what it is, and there's like they explain the different kinds of white blood cells there are, and like what percentage of those blood cells make up your body, like less than 1% or this percentage, and what their strengths and weaknesses are. So it's very, very interesting to watch. It's a very good anime. I've been watching the anime of the main series of Cells at Work, and I'm most likely going to be starting the or at least I've ordered the first 3 manga from Cells at Work Code Black, so we'll see what that is. We'll see how that sort of adds to the story of Cells at Work, what kind of perspective that's going to bring in, what sorts of diseases and sorts of things that's going to introduce into the Cells at Work universe. So I out of the 2, Devil is a Part-Timer and Cells at Work, I think I like Cells at Work a little bit more, if not for the real world accuracy of the manga or the anime. Again, it's not really like super realistic, because it's not like, we don't have little microscopic people running around in our bodies, but it's realistic in the way of how the red blood cells work and what the white blood cells do and how they fight off infections and how the platelets or the construction workers sort of come in and sort of repair everything that needs to be fixed, and how they can fix wounds, like on the surface. So it's really, really sort of interesting. Like once you sort of get it in this sort of, at least for me, like seeing the stuff visualized as like people and like what they do for their jobs, it's easier for me to understand it. Because like if I can visualize it and I can see, if I can make a connection of like, okay, these cells are like this cell or like this thing in real life, and this thing does that, and the red blood cells are like the UPS of the human body. They deliver things, oxygen and food, nutrients, to different parts of the body. I get it now. So like stuff like that just makes it really easy for me to understand it. So if I was going into the medical field, I would definitely watch / read Cells at Work. And if I was a medical teacher, if I was already in the medical profession teaching the next upcoming group of medical students, Cells at Work would definitely be something I would recommend they watch or read, because, like I said, for the people who have a hard time understanding it, like myself, Cells at Work definitely makes it easy to understand what goes on and how everything works and what everything does and the different sorts of viruses and parasites that can affect us. And it's a really good anime. If, like I said, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. If you haven't read the manga or seen the anime, I would highly recommend watching it. If you like accurate sorts of manga and educational sorts of manga and anime, kind of like Dr. Stone. So if you like Dr. Stone, I really think you would like this Cells at Work if you've never seen it. So I give it a 10 out of 10 And I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll have another video up pretty soon. Things have been a little crazy around here with everything going on. But hopefully the cells will get to work and figure everything out soon. And hopefully the actual world we live in outside of the human body can get back to somewhat normal soon. Till next time, see you later.